So I understand that the title of this video may be incredibly confusing to a lot of you guys. If you've played Fortnite and you've played League of Legends, you probably know that these two games could not be further apart in terms of genre. For those somehow uninformed though, Fortnite is a battle royale game similar to your PUBG or Battlegrounds and that one Japanese movie with acting so bad that it's fantastic. But where am I going with this exactly? What could a MOBA game possibly learn from a third-person shooter? Now, I think it would be pretty fair to say that I'm not particularly biased in this. I've played League of Legends for a long time, and compared to League, I've barely played any Fortnite whatsoever. I think I'm level 40-ish in the game, which might sound like a lot, but when you compare it to the thousands of hours I have spent playing League of Legends, I mean seriously, in terms of game time, I have genuinely spent around half a year of my life only in game in League of Legends. Like, when you compare those two things together, it's a drop in the bucket, so it's safe to say that if I'm going to be biased towards anything, it's probably going to be League of Legends. Still though, I've been thoroughly enjoying playing the game. Fortnite is a great time. I've always liked the idea of player-unknown battlegrounds, but personally I felt like the execution was a little bit lackluster. It was clunky as hell, the map was massive to the point that I felt like I was spending every single game running for 20 minutes only to be executed in the back of the head with someone 2 cities over with a Car 98. The loot spawns for me just felt terrible. I didn't really understand what purpose you could possibly have for clothing to spawn in the game. Like, I had a scenario where I was legitimately on around 8 HP, running around a house, juking a guy with an assault rifle, diving into house after house, and all I could find were trench coats and high tops to the point where I just gave up and I let this man banish me to the Shadow Realm. But with Fortnite, the map is massively scaled down, the loot drops are more plentiful, and despite there being a loot system very similar to World of Warcraft where you pick up items grey through to orange, the damage between these loot drops was, to my surprise, actually pretty minimal, meaning that even if someone had better loot than you, the better shot will tend to always win, which means that I die. A lot. As well as that, obviously, you have the building system, which I'm kind of getting off track here, I suppose, but what I want to talk about is one of the most interesting and rewarding things about playing this game. It's one of the most interesting things that I've ever actually seen in a game, and something that by comparison makes the equivalent League of Legends system look absolutely terrible. Now what I'm talking about is the Battle Pass. The Battle Pass in Fortnite is one of two things. You either have the free version, which allows you to complete daily challenges or get points through leveling up your account to unlock currency with which you can spend however you want on skins, emotes, a pickaxe, weapon skin, or if you're so inclined, the actual paid Battle Pass. Now, in genuinely all my days of modern gaming in a world of microtransactions where companies will try to drag every single penny out of you for what you're worth, I have never seen such value for money in an in-game purchase like the Battle Pass in Fortnite. It costs around $10 and it lasts for a full season, which is like half a year. Now with this, every week is a new slew of challenges that unlock. This could be doing damage with a certain weapon, landing in certain areas, or potentially solving a little puzzle thing to find a secret emblem to complete the challenge. It could be touching ice cream trucks or dancing in places you shouldn't. Now by doing these things, you level up your pass, and you are seriously bombarded with God knows how many new things to play around with. And I'm around level 70 on the Battle Pass right now, and the amount of currency for the game that I have earned from the damn thing could literally be used to buy another one next season free of cost. I mean, I didn't do that, I actually just bought the dab emote so that I can dab on the haters, but you get what I'm saying here. Almost every single time you level up, it's an emote, a skin, a backpack, an effect when you drop, an XP boost so you can level up faster, a friend XP boost to encourage you to play with your pals, a loading screen, a new parachute to land with. It's an incredibly, unbelievably rewarding system that is definitely a large part of its success. They really do not hold back on all the nifty little things that don't seem like much but add up over time. Sure, that emote of a boost that you got doesn't sound like much, but hey, you're only a couple of levels away from getting a sick new astronaut skin, so why not just play a few more games? Or hell, even if you don't want to play, the new challenges open up in a few days, so why not check back in a couple of days and see what new challenges you might want to try and do then? Now, this is the Fortnite system. But what about League of Legends, huh? I mean, Riot Games went through a whole rigmarole of implementing a mission system. So what do we have to do today on the... Oh god, no. Missions are terrible in this game. I seriously could not care less about what the hell they are trying to ask me to do. And seriously, 100% of the time that I complete a mission, it is entirely by accident. And what about the rewards for those missions? Oh, 300 blue essence. Fantastic. Here's what it all boils down to though. After a certain point, leveling up is completely pointless. I know that sounds redundant, but for a game where they want lasting power and adding the leveling system uncapped, it was meant to keep players interested. But they're really not doing a whole lot with what they have. Seriously though, I'm basically just stacking leveling capsules at this point, because what is the point of even opening them? Blue Essence, beside Champions, barely has any use to me or half the people that have played this game for longer than a year. If you've been playing for longer than a year, you probably know what champions you like playing, or if you actually want to get a champion. You either already have the Essence or you just spend like $3 or $4 to get it. Aside from pushing to be better competitively and doing crazy stuff in games for videos like silly builds, I kind of really don't see any real motivation rewards wise to just jump into a normal game on my own. And on top of that, the Hextech crafting system is absolutely undeniably ass. If you don't know, I have made multiple videos over the course of the last 2 years on this system, basically showing you what you would get if you were to spend your hard-earned money. Now I know that a lot of people did PBE versions of these where they opened up like 1,000 boxes or something like that, but for me, I wanted the realism. You spend your money, this is what you're likely to get. And it was terrible. All I wanted was some of the gemstones to get a Hextech skin. And do you know how many gemstones that I have accrued in the 2 odd years of collecting them during their existence? After way over $700-ish that I've spent on it, take a guess right now. I'll give you some figures as well, just to give you a bit more of an edge. Now, assuming that I spent $700 on Hextech chests alone, also taking into account key fragments or free chests that I get from people getting an S in my game, or from me buying in bulk, I've probably opened up around 500 boxes. Maybe more, maybe a little bit less. What do you think that number is? 11. 11 gemstones. It takes 10 to make a gemstone skin, and I, after hundreds of dollars trying to earn some of these skins, successfully managed to create one of about 6 or 7 of the damn things. However, with £7, I managed to unlock all of this stuff, and I've only been playing for maybe less than a week. And I got it off my own back from playing. I performed well in games, or I did challenges, and I'm not spinning a damn RNG wheel to figure out what I may or may not get. I can see what there is to unlock, and all I'm really doing is paying for entry to the race. What I earn is through my own effort. Now I know it sounds like I'm just gushing about Fortnite, but you cannot deny that when you compare these two systems, there is a clear winner, and honestly, you care. You know why I know that you care about this? Because you probably just sat for about 7 or 8 minutes listening to me talk about it. You care about this game, so hear me out on this. Dota 2 had a kind of similar system with their compendium for their main tournament events. I don't really see any reason why during a major tournament like Worlds or NA or EU LCS that you couldn't have a pass that allows you to opt into certain rewards for playing during the event, or hell, even tuning into the matches on Twitch. It would show what you can earn from this, whether that be profile flares like banners, borders, icons, chat emoticons that you can use in your little message thing on the client, emotes for the game, maybe a toggleable map flare for the game similar to Dota, like the Nexus looking different. For only you, minions can be changed to arcade or something. Once again, for only you, towers might look different, and this isn't even taking into account skins that could be a reward. Ultimately, I know that Epic care about their players' experience more than the money behind it all. I went to Epic Games Studios back when Fortnite was in production. It wasn't about Fortnite that I went there for, and no, I'm not sponsored by them or anything, but I spoke to some of the guys there about microtransactions in these kinds of games, and they were nothing but people hoping to give their players value for any of the money that they chose to drop on a free game. These are people that are so confident in their product that they would rather have a battle pass that gives a multitude of stuff for basically no money and risk making nothing else in return from their players than shove things down their players' throat in a bid to bleed them dry. And whilst I, once upon a time, believed exactly the same thing about League of Legends, when you look at the direction it's taken since its acquisition by Tencent a few years ago, it's kind of hard to view it in the same light. You really don't have to stumble very far through Reddit to see complaints of pricing regarding the new Miss Fortune Ultimate skin not being worth the $20 you're gonna have to pay to own the damn thing. Even despite the fact that you get all the bells and whistles of banners and all this loading screen stuff when you buy any other Ultimate skin, but this one's just like the skin and that's pretty much it. So that's it. I like Fortnite. I really like Fortnite, to the point where I'd love to make a couple of videos on it for you guys. I'm never going to have the love for it that I had for League of Legends, a genre of games that I've pursued for probably a decade of my life, just falling in love with the characters, the culture that was built up around something that I loved long before it was popular, and the life that it gave to me, a life that I ultimately attribute to Riot Games. But that is exactly why I wanted to speak about it. If you think that you love League of Legends, I love it more. I like to remind you that this game gave me my life. Me making videos on this silly old game put my family out the brink of homelessness. I met my girlfriend through it. It allowed me to meet people that I have touched and have touched me. But despite that, that burning love for the game gets maybe a little bit less bright each day. It will still always be something that I look back on strongly and proudly. And that's the kind of care that I hold about the game. But if it gives me no pleasure to say this, I gotta say it. Compared to Fortnite, League of Legends, in regards to cosmetics, it's kind of a rip-off in a lot of aspects. But what do you all think? Have you tried both systems out and you disagree with me, or do you think I'm right? I want to open a discussion here, so if you want to share it to anybody you know that might think the same thing as me, so they can justify my opinion, or somebody that you think might very, very strongly disagree, let's open a discussion on it. I'd rather not have fanboys from either game talking smack about both. They're both very good games, undeniably. They're both performing really well on Twitch and on YouTube and all that stuff, and they don't really walk into each other's waters too much, so I don't think there's any real need for fanboy wars in the comments if you guys are thinking about doing that. I am considering making videos on this game as well. There'll be probably silly videos where I use silly controllers to try and get a win. So if you guys are interested in that as well, please let me know down below as well. And if you could smack a like on it, and if you're new here, maybe subscribe while you're at it. I'd really appreciate it. As always, have a good day though, guys. I'll see you maybe tomorrow. Take care.